All right, let's dive in. We're taking on 12 places you won't believe are in England today.
Ooh, fun.
And this video script it's got some pretty cool hidden gems, I think.
Awesome.
So we're on a mission to find the most surprising places in England.
Okay.
Forget those old images of the rolling green hills. We're talking Caribbean-like beaches,
Wow.
lavender fields, even England's Grand Canyon.
I love it.
Are you ready to kind of rethink what you thought you knew about England?
Absolutely. I think listeners will be amazed by just how diverse the landscapes are
Yeah,
and the cultural influences we're going to uncover in this deep dive.
for sure.
So why don't we kick things off with a place that'll really transport you?
Okay.
Pedonvounder Beach in Cornwall.
Yeah, the script said it's got turquoise waters and dramatic cliffs.
Uh-huh.
It seems more like the Mediterranean, not England.
Right.
So for someone who loves those off-the-beaten-path places,
Yeah.
is it really worth the trek to get out there?
It is secluded. You'll have to
Yeah.
plan around the tides.
Oh, okay.
But that's part of what makes it special.
Okay.
You've got the white sand, the crystal clear water, the rugged cliffs all together.
Yeah.
It creates a truly unique atmosphere, almost otherworldly.
Oh, wow.
You can disconnect and feel like you've found a secret paradise.
Oh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of places that transport you, the next spot on our list is the lavender fields in Gloucestershire.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I've seen pictures of those endless rows of purple,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes me think of Provence.
Right.
But is that a fair comparison? How do English lavender fields stack up against the French ones?
Visually, yeah, they're very similar.
Okay.
But there are some key differences.
Oh, okay.
English lavender is a bit hardier,
Mm-hmm.
and because the climate, the blooming season's shorter, it usually peaks in late summer.
Okay.
Now, Provence has a long history with lavender, for perfumes, essential oils.
Right, right.
But English lavender farming is newer. It's become popular in the last few decades.
Interesting.
It's not just about how it looks, though.
Yeah.
Lavender farming has brought some economic benefits to certain parts of England.
Oh, wow.
It's really interesting to see how this industry is growing.
That is interesting. I had no idea about the economic impact.
Yeah.
Okay, so for a totally different experience, let's go back in time to the Roman baths in Bath, Somerset.
Okay.
I'm always amazed by how well preserved they are, especially considering they're almost 2,000 years old.
It's incredible. They're a real testament to Roman engineering
Yeah.
and how they used natural resources.
Yeah.
The geothermal spring is still active today.
Wow.
That was the heart of the whole complex.
That's amazing.
The fascinating thing is that the Romans didn't just see these springs as a water source.
Mm-hmm.
They believed in the therapeutic and spiritual aspects of bathing.
Oh, interesting.
They had these elaborate rituals around it.
Wow.
So these baths were a social and religious hub in Roman Britain.
So can you tell us a bit more about that geothermal spring?
Sure.
How significant was it back then and even today?
Well, the Romans were so skilled at harnessing natural resources.
Yeah.
They knew the geothermal spring wasn't just warm, it could have healing properties.
Mm-hmm.
They built this intricate system of channels and reservoirs
Wow.
to manage the water flow and keep the baths at the right temperature.
Oh, wow.
It shows how forward-thinking they were in their urban planning and infrastructure.
Yeah.
A lot of their innovations still influence us today.
That's incredible. So from ancient Roman engineering to natural wonders, our next stop is Cheddar Gorge in Somerset. It's called England's Grand Canyon.
Oh, I love it there.
I've always been fascinated by canyons, these huge spaces carved out over millions of years.
Yeah, they're amazing.
So tell us about Cheddar Gorge and how it compares to the American one.
It's not as big as the Grand Canyon, of course,
Right.
but Cheddar Gorge is still an impressive sight.
I bet.
Those limestone cliffs tower over you, more than 450 feet high.
Wow.
They were formed by glacial meltwater cutting through the rock over thousands of years.
That's incredible.
It's a perfect example of how powerful nature can be in shaping the landscape.
Yeah.
And beyond its beauty, Cheddar Gorge also has this complex cave system,
Oh, wow.
including Goff's Cave, where they found Britain's oldest complete human skeleton, Cheddar Man.
I've heard of that.
It dates back over 9,000 years.
Wow, that really puts the age and history of the gorge into perspective.
It really does.
Okay, so for a bit of art and architecture, we're going to the Painted Hall in Greenwich, London.
Ooh, nice.
The script says it's so fancy it feels like you're stepping into a European palace.
It's often called the Sistine Chapel of the UK.
Oh, wow.
It's a masterpiece of Baroque art.
Wow.
So James Thornhill, the artist, he spent 19 years on those murals.
19 years.
Yeah, they cover the ceiling and walls.
Oh, my goodness.
What's really interesting is that he used the architecture of the hall to create an illusion of space and grandeur.
Interesting.
He incorporated trompe-l'oeil, which tricks your eye into thinking painted details are three-dimensional. It
Wow.
adds to the feeling of awe and magnificence.
That's incredible how artists can do that.
It really is.
So let's switch gears and head to Rofell Mountain in the Lake District.
Okay.
I love mountains, that feeling of being above it all, surrounded by nature.
Yeah.
What makes Bowfell Mountain a must-visit for hikers?
Well, it's not the highest peak in the Lake District, but it's a challenging and rewarding hike.
Mm-hmm.
The views from the top are breathtaking.
I bet.
You can see the surrounding peaks, valleys, and lakes,
Oh, wow.
including Wasswater, England's deepest lake.
Oh, cool.
The landscape is rugged and wild, a big contrast to the gardens and halls we've talked about.
Right.
It shows how diverse England's beauty really is.
You've definitely piqued my interest in Bowfell Mountain. Now, speaking of diverse landscapes, our next stop takes us to a place that feels like a world away. Tresco Abbey Garden on the Isles of Scilly.
Oh, yes.
I've heard it called a subtropical paradise, which seems impossible given England's climate.
Right.
What's the story behind this garden?
It's a testament to passion and microclimates. Well, Augustus Smith, who leased the Isles of Scilly in the 1800s, he wanted to create a botanical wonderland.
Oh, wow.
He took advantage of the Gulf Stream,
Yeah.
which makes the islands warmer, and started planting exotic species from all over.
Wow. So over 20,000 plant species from all different climates thrive in this one garden.
That's right.
It's really amazing how much ingenuity and determination went into making this unique space.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's move on to a destination that might surprise some people. Rathfinny Wines in Sussex.
Oh, interesting.
I've heard a little about English winemaking,
Yeah.
but is it really producing world-class wine?
English wine, particularly sparkling wine, has been getting a lot of international attention lately.
Okay.
The chalky soil and cooler climate in southern England are similar to the Champagne region in France.
Interesting.
It's ideal for growing grapes like Chardonnay and Pinot Noir.
Huh.
And Rathfinny Wines is a great example of this growing industry.
Oh.
They have state-of-the-art facilities and are making some exceptional sparkling wines on par with French ones.
I'm really intrigued to try some English sparkling wine. So our last stop for this part of our deep dive is a unique theatrical experience, the Minack Theatre in Porthcurno, Cornwall.
Oh, it's magical.
Imagine watching a play with the Atlantic Ocean as your backdrop.
It's incredible.
How did this outdoor theater come to be?
It was the idea of Rowena Cade, a remarkable woman who, in the early 1930s, turned the cliffs behind her house into an open-air theater.
Wow.
It was a huge project. A lot of it was done by hand, using local materials and the natural shape of the land.
That's really impressive.
And it's not just the setting.
Yeah.
The Minack Theatre hosts all kinds of performances, from Shakespeare to modern plays and music.
I love that it's a testament to one woman's vision and passion for the arts.
Me too.
That seems like a perfect place to pause for now.
Sounds good.
We'll pick up our journey through England's unexpected gems in part 2.
Looking forward to it.
We'll uncover even more hidden treasures that'll make you want to pack your bags and book a flight.
Awesome. Welcome back. You ready for some more surprising destinations?
I am. Let's do it.
Okay, so we're about to dive into a neighborhood known for its vibrant colors.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about Cliftonwood in Bristol, right?
That's the one.
I saw pictures. It looks like every corner is a photo op.
It really is.
What's the story with those brightly painted houses?
So Cliftonwood is a historic neighborhood. It has a really interesting past.
Oh, cool.
Back in the 18th century, it was a busy port,
Mm-hmm.
and the houses were built for merchants and sailors.
Okay.
Over time, the area's gone through changes, ups and downs,
Yeah,
but it's always kept that strong sense of community.
that's nice.
The brightly colored houses are a newer thing, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it reflects the artistic side of the residents
Yeah.
and their desire to create a happy and welcoming vibe.
It's inspiring to see how a community can come together like that
It is.
and make their neighborhood a visual feast. So for our final destination, we're heading to a place that seems like it belongs in another country altogether. The Royal Pavilion in Brighton.
Oh, yes.
It's described as having Indian-inspired architecture, which is so unexpected for England.
It's a wild one.
What's the story behind this architectural marvel?
The Royal Pavilion is a testament to King George V's unique taste.
Okay.
In the late 1700s and early 1800s, he was drawn to the exotic, to Indian and Chinese architecture.
Huh. Interesting.
He had architects design a seaside palace with those influences.
Wow.
So you get this unique mix of Indo-Saracenic and Orientalist styles.
It's amazing how global influences can shape art and architecture like that.
It really is.
I wonder, was the Royal Pavilion well received when it was first built?
Oh, it definitely caused a stir.
Oh, I bet.
Some loved the flamboyant style, others thought it was outlandish.
Yeah.
They criticized how extravagant it was.
Yeah, I can see that.
But no matter what you think of it, the Royal Pavilion is a bold statement.
Mm-hmm.
It reflects a time when Britain was expanding globally
Mm.
and becoming more and more fascinated with Eastern cultures.
Okay, so we've covered a lot in this deep dive.
We have.
From those secluded beaches and lavender fields to ancient Roman baths and a palace fit for a Maharaja.
It's been quite a journey.
What stands out to you as the most surprising or unexpected discovery?
That's a tough one.
They're all pretty amazing.
They are. Each one has its own charm.
Yeah.
But I think the Menak Theater left the biggest impression on me.
Oh, yeah.
An incredible feat of engineering carved right into the cliffs.
Yeah.
Overlooking the Atlantic Ocean, it's just breathtaking.
Yeah, it really is.
And the fact that it was one woman's vision, Rowena Cade, it makes it even more remarkable.
That's true.
It shows the power of passion and determination
Yeah.
to create something truly extraordinary.
I agree. The Menak Theater is special.
It is.
It shows how art and nature can work together so beautifully.
Absolutely.
So, for our listener who's been with us on this deep dive, what would you say is the most important takeaway?
It really does make you think differently about England, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. We think we know a place, but then we dig a little deeper and find these hidden gems.
It's true.
And it totally changes your view.
Exactly.
So, for our listener who's been with us on this deep dive, what would you say is the biggest takeaway?
Well, I think the main thing is that travel is about more than just seeing the famous landmarks.
Yep.
You know, it's about being open to new things, finding those unexpected places,
Right.
and letting yourself be surprised by what you find out there in the world.
For sure.
England, you know, with all its history and different landscapes,
Mm-hmm.
it's a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
We've seen how a country that's known for tradition
Mm-hmm.
can also be a place of, you know, innovation and creativity
Yeah.
and beauty that you don't expect.
I completely agree. It's about going off the beaten path.
Exactly.
Finding those places that show you a different side of things.
Mm.
And maybe this deep dive will even inspire our listener
Oh, I like that.
to, create their own unexpected place, to leave their own mark on the world.
I love that idea.
It's a really cool thought, right?
Yeah. Travel is about connecting with the world, with yourself.
Yeah.
You know, expanding your horizons and just embracing the unexpected.
I think that's beautifully said.
And sometimes those unexpected things are the ones that stick with you the most.
That's true. So, to our listeners, keep exploring. Keep searching for those hidden treasures. Never stop being amazed by what the world has to offer.
Happy travels, everyone.